Welcome back, everyone, to the Catch a Glimpse podcast. This is episode 23. Here we are today. Me, Skeeter Keaton, and Ryan Snapperdoodle. We are not accompanied by Frankie or Funny Priest again
No,
today.
Franklin.
He's gone. He's
No.
back home. He's not at his setup. But
True.
we're going through. If you've never watched
Episode
this,
23.
yeah,
Wow.
23. We're almost like
Almost at the 30 episode mark. That's
yeah,
very
which is
exciting.
kind of crazy. And
Yeah, dude.
like if you like, okay, once we get to 24, 24 divisible by 7. Like,
We're going to say the same thing every episode from now on. It's
yeah,
like, it's
100%.
crazy. 23, 24, 25.
But that's like
I-
almost a month straight of like recording.
of
Like
yeah.
if you were to watch these daily, like that's crazy though. But if you never have watched the Ken's Golden's podcast, we just talk about, everyday stuff, some news, some sports.
Some random topics of my
yeah,
brain that
random
gets
topics.
produced. Yeah.
If you haven't watched the past ones, I'd advise you to go watch the Halloween one because that one I think was pretty good. We'll have a Thanksgiving one coming up for Thanksgiving and a Christmas one in the future, so stay tuned for all those. But
And if this is your first time watching on YouTube, this is not our normal setup.
that's
This
true.
is just virtual
Mm-hmm.
podcasting as of now because of school. Keaton and Frankie are in school. I'm at home. Our normal setup is usually at Frankie's house with our backdrop and our
Yeah.
table and our mic set up.
Which
As of right now, until school maybe comes to an end for the year,
mhm,
this is what you should be seeing on YouTube.
yeah. But I think
But yeah.
that's pretty good overview.
That's the end of the
So,
podcast. Hope
see you
you
later.
enjoyed.
Hope we get to 30.
See you in the next. No. So I would like to start off with a little bit of middle school stories, if you're down for that.
I'm down.
I had Zach, my friend Zach, brother Zach, friend Zach, reminded me of this time in middle school, and I didn't remember it until he said it, and I was like, oh my god, I remember doing that. In middle school, we had these things where when we were good, we would get a ticket, right? A little card that we could redeem. And for a certain thing, you could eat with the teacher. You could get like a homework pass. Was it like get candy or something?
Yeah.
But there was this one that everybody used the cards for. And it was at the end of the day, on a Friday, you could choose the walkout song, right? You could choose the walkout song for when you left the school building.
I think one of
And
them was also like a pizza party raffle
for the
ticket
class,
or something.
right? Or something? I don't know.
I think it was like each ticket, like in full, because it was like 10 stamps on a card.
Right.
If you had it in full, you could put it in for like a pizza party raffle or something like that. But
well,
that's besides the point. You keep going.
Knowing me and how my brain works, you could assume I chose a very good song. So what I did was one day I went down there and I was like, "Hey, I want this song." They're like, "It's not really a song." I was like, "No, it's what I want." So then I put it in. End of the day comes around, my song starts playing. Do you wanna get a guess of what in middle school, what song or tune could have been very popular for me? In middle school. You gotta dig deep.
I think I got it.
Okay.
Was it the... Because I remember this playing one day. So I know this was played, so just because it's a weird song, I think this is probably what you chose. But wasn't it like the... like that McDonald's, like Pizza Hut...
No,
song?
that was
It
a
was
song that
not?
we sang in elementary school.
I thought, but I thought, like...
No.
Okay, well...
The last time I think we've sung that song was in elementary school music class. It was like McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and a Pizza Hut. But it was
I thought
no,
someone played that, but maybe not.
No, I don't remember if somebody did or not. But my song was yeah, the troll song playing through the hallways for the entirety of the song. And I just remember passing people who knew I did this, laughing, and just walking out the building, and you just hear la 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 la. And he said, Zach told me, he goes, I don't know why I just thought of this, but I remember you playing the troll song in middle school. I was like, oh my god, no way that you remember that.
Mm.
Oh man, that was a good moment. You got any memories?
Um, well, I remember those cards because I would
Yeah.
like man the station outside of the cafeteria with like the
Okay.
person that runs the table that would like trade in your cards for like candy or whatever.
I do remember you doing that.
And
Yeah.
so I'd be out there, and I don't even remember like how that even happened. Like I wasn't like even like a part of, you know,
What was
whatever
that group?
club to do it. I don't know.
Well, there was like um 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 um
There's it's not
oh
student
dude.
council,
Yeah,
but
it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
well, I wasn't a part of student council, but I was out there and I was doing that.
I was a part of student council for like a day. I was
Nice.
no man, I don't yeah, I'm not staying here for your meeting.
Yeah, no thanks. No, yeah, but I did that and I don't know, just like people you'd see, granted we're all middle schoolers, but like you get some weird people. I'm gonna be honest. Sorry anybody. But yeah.
We were all weird,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
100%. But some people outshine the others.
Yeah.
But talking about being in student council for a day, I remember yearbook club. Like, you know, people that
Mm.
actually go out and take those pictures and they get like a pass. I remember
Mhm.
joining that, and yeah, it was like the same thing. Like I was in it and I'm like, yo, this is sick. And like, you know, I'll get like a pass and like a camera and just like go and take pictures for the yearbook. It just like never happened. Like
Yeah.
I went to the meeting and I was like, okay, sick. Nothing happened ever since. It was just like that was a waste of time. I never got to take any pictures. It was like I don't even understand because I went to the meetings, but it was just like just no clue. And that was my eighth grade year too, so it was like I was
Like, yeah,
technically
I'm
like
so
the
excited.
senior of middle school, so I should be
Yeah.
fine to do it, and I can't do it the next year because I'm gone. So what happened? But yeah,
I don't know. But now that I'm thinking about it, the middle school and the high school had very poor like building plan
oh
building
yeah,
plans. You know what I mean? Like
hundred
the
percent.
orchestra room for the middle school, you are suspended above the gymnasium. Is it like if that falls, you're falling, right? You're just falling. And then the high school, there was a gymnastics tumbling room, and you're above a huge
Yeah,
gymnasium, and you can literally hear basketballs and shoes squeaking.
yeah.
Like it's so bad.
If
Like which
for
one quick thing in the health there's a health class for high school, and there was a section where we wanted to go in there, and she wanted to have everybody lay down on the floor and relax. And I'm like, how can you have us lay down on the floor when in my mind I know that I am suspended like 25 feet up in the air? Like, yo. Okay, go ahead. My bad.
I was just gonna say, people watching like our high school, it's two high schools in one.
Yeah,
So first of all, like the management itself is jank because you have
true.
two principals, you have two vice principals, everything's doubled, and you're all working from one building. But yeah, the construction of both of them and where the stuff is placed is terrible. Like first of all, because it's two high schools, we have two entrances, which
Yep.
is has to be a pain for like any security reasons. But then also at our middle school, the health and like where like the locker rooms and stuff was,
Yeah.
that's just randomly slanted upwards. You walk up a ramp for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Why?
do.
Like there's no point. like it doesn't conform with any of the other building. You just go up a ramp, and it's just like, okay, that's part of the school now.
It
Like
was
I don't
like,
know.
yeah, that connection from the actual locker rooms to when you turn right, a staircase, and then that's like the
Mm-hmm.
cafeteria, which used to be the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then if you go left, it's just a long freaking hallway that leads you to two computer labs and three art rooms.
Yeah.
Like, dude, just
It's really random.
I remember Badger getting that skywalk, which was like on, if you could imagine where a Quick Trip is,
Mm.
there was like that whole side of the building was demolished and they added like a skywalk there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, very janky, like building plans.
Oh
They
yeah.
were just like, "Oh yeah, this would work. We'll just add like a slant here and add a
It
step there." And
it was cool in theory of like each because like each level and side of the level being for the different grades. Like that was kind of cool because then at
Mhm.
the end of the day you'd have each grade leave at different times, but that never like went through. That never happened. Like they never actually did that. And so it was a really big
Wasn't it
waste.
like certain floors were certain grades?
Hmm.
Wow. Yeah.
And then in the cafeteria, which again, like you said, was the pool, they had a theater stage.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's so random. Like it's a good use of space for like a middle school, but imagine like you going from the old middle school to the new middle school and you're like, okay, here's the pool, we're gonna rip that out. We're gonna cement that all, that's gonna be the cafeteria. Might as well just throw in a theater stage. Got it. Like it's just so weird. I don't
Yeah.
understand. The library
And
though did look
yeah.
amazing because all
Where
those
was the
windows.
library? Yes. 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 The
That did
library
look
did look
pretty
really
cool.
good. Was that the high school? No, that was the Badger Library.
Yeah,
Badger's
the high
library was
school.
great.
So again, because the high school was two schools, we had two libraries, both of
The
them
libraries
garbage.
were in the second floor center.
Mm-hmm.
Second floor center. And if you were like, sorry, I burped. If you were new to the building, good luck finding the rooms,
Oh
right?
yeah.
You got like A through K on the bottom floor, and then you have like K or L through Z on the top floor. And it's like you got from left to right, like A, C on the other side, B, D, or and the
Yeah,
hallways are very windy, turny, and
it's not
just
even. Yeah, it's not like it doesn't go in an order that makes sense. It was just kind of like random letters placed
yeah.
randomly. And like the libraries, like where they were placed was okay, but at that point they could have just made one big library, and the libraries
They
like
honestly,
weren't that good. And the year that we left from being seniors, then they finally redid the libraries. Now they look
and
good.
the if COVID didn't happen, we would have seen our memorials inside the cafeteria, which is the
Yeah,
most seen spot.
yeah,
I
they
still
didn't do
haven't
that.
seen it to this day.
No,
Is our friend that we know of that is still in high school, or he graduated this year?
he graduated.
Oh, well, that's not cool. I want to see what it looks like, man.
No.
Um, but to show, I don't want to bash too much on the faculty system because they're obviously being very underpaid.
Hmm.
But like, I remember walking down the hallway and seeing a fight break out and a teacher just watching. Like they were just like,
Dude, that's
yeah,
prime
that's an
time
issue. That
television right there.
they're like, yeah, that's an issue. Hold on, let me record this. Like, no, like I don't understand. I mean, yeah, they're not being paid eh, eh, near anything.
Hmm.
Like, to even deal with that.
Yeah.
Our schools, Badger and the high school, are like rehab kids. You know what I mean? Like rehab buildings almost. Like high school,
Yeah.
you've got like janky flooring. Um, our building could have got listed, or was listed for a school shooting.
Hmm.
And then Badger. one month we had 3 bomb threats. And then Fair Park, there was an incident where a prisoner escaped from the prison
Mm,
or the jail system right next to the school and was like, "Oh, everybody watch out." Like, dude, what?
dude,
How is that? Dude.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, we've had a lot of crazy events. Like the high school had a riot and everything. Like a
Mhm.
lot of weird stuff. But I remember
Over a
at
bathroom pass.
yeah, over a bathroom pass. But I remember at Fair Park. So Fair Park is a pretty long school, and
Yeah.
behind it there's a ton of pavement and then grass, and it's like where you have recess,
And then the woods
and
and then a
then
jail.
yeah, then the woods, and then next to Fair Park is the jail, and so there's literally just a fence that goes in between the school and the jail.
Dude, that's like putting an alcohol and a gun store next to a Chuck E. Cheese. Like, what are you doing?
And so during recess, it's just that fence to stop you from either you going there or them coming here.
Yeah.
And so just thinking about that, whenever I was out there, like, because that's where you play
You guys
football.
suck. You're just holding like the fence. You guys are dumb.
I'm free. Because we play football out there, and so like I don't know, I'd always let's like look over, and I never actually saw anybody outside in their
No,
area. But I
yeah.
remember one time it was winter.
Just inmates like playing the same game.
Hey, you guys are playing
like
football too?
yo, pass the ball.
Yeah. Um, but it was winter, and I think um I don't remember exactly the order of events, but I remember it was winter, and there's the woods behind Fair Park as well. And
Yes.
so there was like 3 deer that hopped the fence. So hopped
Yeah.
from the jail over to Fair Park, our side, and
That
I
shows how low
was
the fence was, by the way.
yeah, exactly. But I was close to the fence. I don't remember what I was doing, but I was close to the fence, and I remember making a Facebook post about this. It's probably one of the only times I've ever used Facebook. I remember making a
Okay.
Facebook post about this, and the deer like because there was three, two went to the opposite sides, and then one went down the middle, and that's where I was. And I remember just like juking that deer because you're in snow. I literally just dove to yeah to
Broke his ankles.
exactly. And so I juked the deer, and I think someone's either from that a friend of mine, his foot, like either he got hit by a deer or something and he broke his foot, or the deer stepped on his foot, something happened, or either that happened before and he had to also juke in the moment with a broken foot, something like that happened. But remember that, and like
I don't know
you're
why I
in
remember
Fair
a
Park.
deer being. I don't remember why I remember a deer being like either close or inside the building.
Maybe close to the
I don't.
building.
Yeah.
But
Sorry. Go ahead.
um I don't know what I was gonna say.
Oh, I'm sorry. The juking with a
um
broken foot. Uh,
yeah,
dude, I'm so sorry.
something like that. I don't know.
Oh
I just
man.
remembered that story, which is just like crazy because you're in Fair Park, so it's elementary school. The oldest I could have been was probably like what, like 10,
6, 10, 8,
like
maybe.
max 10. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's say I was maybe 9 or 10, and I have a deer running at me with a jail right next to me. Okay, get out of the way. Yeah.
Oh my god. Dude, we could go on with this conversation for literally like an extra 30 to 40 minutes
Oh
just with
yeah.
all the jank stuff in the school district. And we could even branch out to our city. I mean, there's so much issues with the city.
Yeah.
But that's for a different podcast, and I
I
will put it
just
down as a quote
I want
for
to say one quote that I've seen.
yeah.
It's just, and again, I don't remember quotes exact, so don't trust me on quoting it correctly. But it was a quote from Elon Musk saying like it's easier to land a moon on Mars, or easier to land a dude on Mars than it is to change the school system. and it's like that is pretty true.
Yeah.
Like for our school system to not just be like the jail that our high school looks like that would take a lot. Because I remember
Because
one teacher, he was my econ teacher. Um, he said, "Okay, if you guys could change the high school however you want, how would you do it?" A lot of people just said like, you know, make it look nicer, like it looks so bad. Change the chairs, like chairs are uncomfy. Get different desks, like all this, like comfy stuff.
right.
Generally like raise morale in a sort of way by making it look nicer. Because our high school was just like gray and more gray on the floors and white and more gray, and so people were just
Yeah.
like change the look of it. And he said, well, that's never going to happen because how does that affect your learning? And he said, if you were to go to some board, like school board member, and be like, can we change the colors of the school and all that? They're just going to say, that doesn't help you learn. So it's kind of sad. Yeah, like how that will
It
probably never
gives you
change.
it boosts your morale and it'll give you more motivation into learning your next class.
Yeah, but that's not what they think, though. They just
I
think
mean,
direct correlation only. So,
random thought when you said the Elon like quote. If you think about it, he just randomly started going into space one day because he could, right? So like, is there like a law that hey, you can't go into space? Well, what do you own space, America?
I
Like,
don't know. I
who
don't know
makes
how
that
that's
law?
going to
It's
work.
like because people have launched weather balloons into space. Is that against the law?
Yeah, and like the same thing with like satellites. There's so many satellites in our atmosphere. It's insane. So like I don't
Hmm.
understand like the regulations on that. Cause like okay, let me just launch my own satellite and get my free
Yeah,
Wi-Fi. Like I don't
if
understand.
you yeah, if you have enough money, I think anybody could launch a satellite or any sort of spacecraft into the atmosphere.
Cause
They could they could kill someone if they don't do the calculations right.
that's what Elon Musk is doing. He's
Yeah,
launching
satellites, rockets.
yeah, I don't remember
He's
the Wi-Fi thing, but he's launching so many satellites that he's making instead of our Wi-Fi pinging off of like towers and satellites, which then you have to be in like certain zones, like if you think you have like 4G, 5G on your phone, and sometimes you have terrible coverage in certain spots. Instead of you needing to be close enough to like a beacon of some sort, it will just ping it from the different satellites and it will connect you to the closest one. And so like it's a cool thing, but the amount of satellites that you're chucking up there, like there's
right.
so many now. It's insane.
Pretty sure he's actually said in an interview with I think Joe Rogan they're working on their first ever like you know how airplanes you could just lift off and they'll land you somewhere and they just refuel, lift off, land. They're trying to make a rocket like that to reduce times
Mm-hmm.
for airplane travel.
Yeah.
A reusable rocket. And he said, Rogan asked, "How long do you think that would take?" He goes, "In the next 5 years."
Yeah, he's so I remember that idea
Like
being
what?
brought up like 2 years ago, and then maybe it was like in the past year he had like this first successful launch of it or something,
Yeah.
of like it sending off and re-landing.
Hmm.
And I don't remember the exact times, but it was like, I mean, it is a good idea in terms of if you can get it to be like super
Oh,
duper safe.
if we figure this out and we can make the moon or Mars inhabitable, you could just go from Earth and the moon like in the next 3 hours with a rocket, right? No, am I
Well,
wrong?
traveling like if you want to go from Earth to the opposite side of the Earth, because all they do is they send the rocket up into space.
Right.
They literally just use Earth's rotation
Yep.
to elapse the time, then they send it back. And so I don't remember the time of it, but it's like insanely short compared to if you were to take an airplane. Going to
And
the moon, I don't remember how long that takes. Going to Mars takes a long time.
there's probably more technical like ways to think about this because if you think about it, an airplane, they go up. If this is like San Francisco and this is like Los Angeles and two airplanes are leaving at the same time and they both need to like,
Mm-hmm.
cross. If you think about that in like rocket terms and you had like a wide out shot of the earth, you seeing like 8 to 20 rockets, just like going different ways around the planet, almost like creating its own solar system, like or their own ring like Saturn, but with rockets and pollution and
Mm,
just the excrement that leaves the rocket. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's just I don't know how that's gonna work, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's gonna be very dangerous, you know? One of them collides and all the rubble from that rocket's falling to the planet.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's always going to
Woo!
be some fault that happens sooner or
Right,
later. Like, something's going to go wrong. So, if you think, just like airplanes crash.
yeah,
And granted, now it's at, like, it's very low statistically that, like, you're more likely to get, I think you're more likely to die from a bee sting than you are to die in a airplane crash. But it's like,
right.
that's still, now you think about doing that in space. Like, if you have one accident in space, and the amount of people that they, I think, plan on transporting is way more than one, like, airplane ride. And how much that
Right,
costs to make, how much
and,
fuel that costs, like, that's
yeah,
insane.
and speaking of accidents, have you ever heard of Frayne Selleck before?
Mm-mm.
He is the world's unluckiest man,
Is that the guy
and,
who got, like, zapped by lightning, like, tons of
uh
times?
oh, way worse. This man, Frayne Selleck, is a Croatian man who is known for his frequent brushes with death. He has been described as either the world's luckiest or unluckiest man.
Yeah, I
Okay?
hate when people say that.
But here's his backstory. Salick's near-death experiences began in July 1962 when he was riding a train through a cold, rainy canyon, and the train flew off the tracks and crashed into a river. An unknown person pulled Salick to safety, while 17 other passengers drowned. Salick suffered a broken arm and hypothermia. The next year, during his first and only plane ride, he was blown out of a malfunctioning plane door and landed in a haystack. The plane crashed, killing 19 people. 3 years after that, in 1966, a bus that he was riding in skidded off the road and into a river, drowning 4 passengers. Salick swam to shore with few cuts and bruises. That's already 3 near-death experiences. In 1970, his car caught fire as he was driving, and he managed to escape before the fuel tank blew up. 3 years later, in another driving incident, the engine of his car was doused with hot oil from a malfunctioning fuel pump, causing flames to shoot through the air vents. Salick's hair was completely singed in this incident, but he was otherwise unharmed. In 1995, he was struck by a bus in Zagreb. I don't know exactly where that is, but Zagreb. But sustained only minor injuries. And in 1996, he eluded a head on collision with the United Nations truck on a mountain curve by swerving into a guardrail, which gave way under the force. Salick was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected out of the car, clinging to a tree branch as he watched his vehicle fall 300 feet. 2 days after this, his 73rd birthday, Salick won £900,000 or 1,100,000 US currency in the lottery. All the time of his win, he also married for the 5th time while he purchased 2 houses, a boat, and with his winnings. In 2010, he decided to give most of his remaining money away to relatives and friends after deciding to live a frugal lifestyle. Dude, he, yo, like,
I couldn't imagine going through. Okay,
every one of those deaths.
well, like, you get through that first event, and you're like, holy crap, like, that's like once in a lifetime. And then it's like the second event, it's like, dude, this is like,
Literally,
I escaped
literally,
twice. And imagine getting to like the fifth one, you're like, dude, who's pranking me at this point?
yeah. The first one, train fell through, went off the rails. Second one, a door malfunctioned and he lands in a haystack. A haystack,
Yeah.
right? And then, uh, his car, his bus ridded off and skidded into a river. Then two car malfunctions, and then hanging off a 300-foot cliff. Just,
Yeah,
but hey, God was like, here's $1 million. I'm sorry.
I think my favorite one is the flames through the vents. Cause I
That,
just
yeah,
think like cartoon style, that'd be so funny.
right. But I also have another wiki page here. Have you ever heard of the Euthanasia Coaster?
Roller coaster?
Uh, yes, it's called the Euthanasian Coaster. Um, the Euthanasia Coaster is a hypothetical steel roller coaster designed to kill its passengers. This
That doesn't
was
seem
a
designed well.
this was a an idea given to the government as another way of execution.
But why?
This prison time, you have the death row. This is another way of killing.
Yeah, but I'm okay. I'm assuming you go on the roller coaster, you take the ride, you go really fast, and then what? Like it probably gets decapitated.
No, but there were other ideas like that. There was this is off the top of my head, I might be wrong, but there were programs that were given to the government to have the person or the subject sit in a chair, have a robot come by, grab the person's head, and twist it off and pull. That
Seems
was
like
it's very gruesome.
when was okay? When was this roller coaster made?
This roller coaster, oh man. It was never made. It was the
Well,
idea.
okay, yeah. When was the idea made?
Um, all we know is that the blueprints and talk was released in 2012.
Because like I don't care what time frame you're from. It's just easier to like just you know stab a dude. Like you don't need to build an entire roller coaster or a robot. Like I don't
So,
know.
how this machine works is the euthanasia coaster would kill its passengers through prolonged cerebral hypoxia. Do you know what cerebral hypoxia is?
No.
Cerebral hypoxia is a form of hypoxia, specifically involving the brain. When the brain is completely deprived of oxygen, it is called cerebral anoxia. There are four categories of cerebral hypoxia. They are like in order of increasing severity, worse and worse. They get worse and worse. Um, or I guess layman's terms, it's an insufficient supply of oxygen to the brain.
Okay.
Um, the ride's 7 inversions or 7 loops would inflict 10 G's of force, which is insane.
Yeah.
G's of force. On its passenger, it would inflict 10 G's of force on its passengers for 60 seconds, causing G force related symptoms, starting with gray out through the tunnel vision and blackout. And eventually, it says GLOC, which is G force induced loss of consciousness. Um, Subsequent inversions of another run of the coaster would serve as insurance against unintentional survival or more robust passengers. So, yeah, you can't really see it, but there is if you were to think of a roller coaster, how they all start is they go straight and then it goes up, and then at some point it drops.
Yeah.
This incline, um, it says the concept design of this layout begins with a steep angled lift to the 100 or 510-meter or 1,670 feet top. So you get 1,500 plus feet into the air, which then would take 2 minutes for the train to reach the top, right? Any passengers that wish to get off could then do so if you wanted to get off, right? Um, From there, a 500-meter or 1,600 feet drop would then take the train 360 kilometers per hour or 220 miles per hour down. Like, if you could think of 220 miles per hour going down in one single direction.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, um, close to its terminal velocity, uh, before flattening out and speeding into the first of 7 loops, each inversion would have a smaller and smaller loop before maintaining its 10 Gs. And by the time you get to the last loop, the train will then shoot you right and new passengers will take its place.
Well, at least like the
I'm glad none of this exists.
yeah, oh, 100%. But at least like the death would be
You think quick and painless?
well, you go through each stage and you lose like consciousness. So at least you lose consciousness, then you die. So you don't feel.
That's depending on if you can survive the 200 mile per hour drop and the 10 Gs of force. And then if you don't, they send you again.
Yeah, well, okay. I think most people are dying from the first one.
I hope so. That's
But at the same
just
time, like who, first of all, who thought of this? Who thought it was a good idea? And like, who thought like, okay, I like roller coasters. We're gonna make one that kills people.
the
Let's
designers.
put it up 1,000 feet up. That seems
I don't know how to
practical.
say his name, but the designer's name is. I'm gonna try my best. Oh my god, Julionis or Bonus.
Hmm.
Literally, the JuliJonas
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't think that's just
Like no one would no,
insane.
no one would fund that.
The government would if it passed through.
Yeah, but there's no
Um,
shot. Like with the amount of money it would take to build the train, build the tracks, go that high up, contractors, the workers, I could build a knife and just, hey, bud, shank. There you go.
um, I mean, if you think about it, when was the last time? What was I saying? You said who would even fund the roller coaster?
Yeah.
Um, Literally, firing squads are now like a choice of death if you're on death row now. Again, like people, like if you just think about it, who says that guillotines can't be another choice of death again, or public hangings? You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah, but
not
that
too
doesn't
far out of the
cost you
realm of.
like $300,000 to build.
It's still not out of the realm of craziness that could come back. You know what I mean? I would say out of like the first one that I said where they grab your head and twist, that one is out of the norm, out of like somebody psychotic made that
It's
idea.
out of pocket.
I think honestly, I would choose the roller coaster over getting my head twisted off. Popular, unpopular opinion.
I'd just get injected with that stuff.
Okay, if you didn't have the injection or somebody shooting you or stabbing you, which one are you choosing? Your neck getting twisted off or the roller coaster?
I'm choosing because we're doing crazy stuff anyways, right?
Yeah,
So I'm choosing the roller coaster, but I'm getting up there and I'm getting out
and jumping.
and I'm jumping
What if you survive?
1,500 feet up, no shot.
Listen, man, guy flew out of a helicopter or airplane, landed in a haystack.
I'll make sure everything below me is cement.
He goes, dive bomb.
Yeah, because at
I
least
don't know.
then your body shuts off. So okay, your body is like so smart that when you're about to die like that, it will sense your feet hitting at such velocity that shuts off the rest of your body. So you get no pain. So I'd rather do
Mm,
that than go through a roller coaster, go through the stages of getting unconscious, and then maybe living, and having to do it again, I'd rather just jump
I've
off.
I gotta disagree with you. I've seen, and it's sad and scary that I've seen this. I've seen videos of people jumping off of buildings and having their legs broken and living and just alive and crawling around.
Well, then I live.
It's
Let's go!
he's like cripple.
Yeah, but I'm
you're
getting
not
out of there.
you're not living, buddy.
No.
Like you too much time alive. You just cannot juke death like that. But that was all of my topics. But if we need another one, I can pull up another one.
Um, let's. We're getting to the end of the podcast here, so let's just go through a little bit of sports.
Mm.
You know,
What
we
do we think's
lost.
happening tomorrow or today? Whenever they're listening to this, do we think Aaron Rodgers is going to be in the game or Jordan Love?
Aaron Rodgers is in the game. It was
Okay.
confirmed. We're filming this Saturday, by the way, so it was confirmed
Yes.
today that he is playing. So we'll see him tomorrow, or I guess again when you're watching today. That's
Who's
weird to think
playing?
about. But we went against the Chiefs last week,
We're
and
playing the Seahawks.
yeah,
Okay.
and we had Love on the team. I remember last week saying like hope Love does good and everything. We lost, which is sad because we were gonna be, top seed, but
Right.
now we're not. But other teams that were
There's still
doing really
time.
good, yeah, definitely. But other teams that were doing really good also last week also did lose, like the Cowboys lost. So I'm just happy to see that we have Aaron Rodgers back. I think we're gonna dominate the Seahawks. I would go like,
There are 3 and 5, so this is like bottom seed, I believe.
yeah, I would say like 27, maybe 27-7.
I see us getting into the high numbers, getting like 34-12
I could see us like really like racking up the points, but I feel like
or 34-14. Sorry.
because it's because we went from the Cardinals game to having a lot of people out to then the Chiefs game having more people back but Aaron Rodgers out, now to the Seahawks game a majority of our team back. I feel like this game will kind of just be like okay, we don't want to put stress on anyone. We don't want anybody getting injured. So we're going to beat them and we'll get a little bit ahead, but we don't need to like flex on them or anything. I feel like we'll just
Right.
win it and then there we go. So, but that's
For sure.
that's my guess. So,
Yeah, I said 34-14, 34-14. Dub, obviously, no doubt
100%.
about it.
And then we
And we're at
face
Lambeau.
yeah, and then we face the Rams, which
No, we're facing the Vikings.
oh, I think that's the next week.
Yep.
I think yeah, Rams is
Rams.
the
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
it's Vikings, Rams, Bears, Ravens, Browns,
And then
Vikings again, and then Lions.
Lions, yeah. Which I just want to bring the Rams game up because we
They're a scary team.
they are a scary team. If you look at the rest of our schedule, we could pretty much win every single game. The only game in contention really is the Rams game. So
Right.
100% we're going to be playoff material. And news for the Rams is we did not get Ryan, you know what I'm going to say?
We did not get COVID.
Who went to the Rams?
Who? Matt Matthews did. Clay Matthews? Did he not go to the Rams?
Recent.
Freaking Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah. So for I think it was maybe like half a week. There was thoughts of OBJ coming here, which
To the
I think would have
Packers.
been really cool. If I'm gonna be honest, it would have been cool to see. but we didn't. So we'll just have to smoke them, and then
And just to give Frankie a little bit of time here, I sent a photo of Odell Beckham Jr. signing with the Rams, and Frankie comes out with the best quote of the year. Today will go down in history as the day that Odell Beckham Jr. chose not to win a Super Bowl. So,
it's true.
Odell, if you're listening to this, obviously you are. I don't know why you wouldn't,
Obviously.
Odell. You are an idiot. You could have chose the winning team.
Also, because you're obviously listening to this, hit me up. Love to hang.
But I mean, if you think about it, he made the right play because Aaron Rodgers is only going to be here for the rest of the year. Cobb, Devontae Adams might leave.
I
Um,
I need to have like a full podcast where we talk about all that. Because with how this year's been going and the pay cap, because that's the entire thing. It's all about the pay. And I don't want to get too much into it because we only got like 3 minutes left. But the entire thing about like the pay cap, that's why they're going to leave. We want to get paid more. We can't pay them as much because we're Green Bay. We just don't have the highest pay cap. Then you have someone like Aaron Rodgers who is like, Aaron Rodgers might leave because he wants to go to a different team. He wants to try and win a Super Bowl somewhere else.
you
The
think he's going to
management,
resign
I
to
think so.
somewhere?
I think he's gonna stay with us.
Really?
I honest like our pay cap is only gonna increase because we're getting less and less COVID. So if we have this team right now, right,
Okay.
and we go another year, increased pay cap, we can still get better people. Like, this is the place to be. I don't understand. Why would you leave? You could go to a team with a higher pay cap, but like you're still going to a team that doesn't have the players that the Packers have. Let's
Right.
say you are Devontae Adams and you're like, screw it, I'm gone. I want to get paid more. You go off to a different team with a higher salary cap. But not everybody else from the Packers, if everybody leaves, is gonna go to the same team that you're going to, Devontae. So you're not gonna
Yeah.
have the same chemistry. You're not gonna have the same players. Like, you might as well just stay. Like, it's only gonna get better from here. So I'd rather just, if I were one of those players on our team, I'd rather just stay, keep hashing it out, because we're honest. Like, every single time we're that close. So there's no point in just tossing it all away. I think you might as well just stay. And I think it's
Right.
better that I would have loved to see OBJ come and play for us, but at the same time, it's better for us because we're not paying him. And I
Mhm.
think we can still do everything that, if we did get him, we can do it without him. Might as well
Right.
save that cash for next year. So
And,
I
and
think we're
we all
fine.
know, that before every game, all of the Packers players listen to our podcast in the locker room over the loudspeaker.
Yeah,
So all of you who are listening to it right now, please stay with us.
yeah,
We may not give you all the monies that you'd want, but we love you. Just stick around, please.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
And last remark, like, I'm not, a football player. I get it's a hard job, but
I'm lineman.
you're already getting paid millions, man. Just
Right.
take the bag and stay here. Like, you don't really need more of a bag. It's not gonna
Yeah.
change, like, oh shoot, I can't buy 2 Lambos this year now. I can only buy one. Like,
Can't buy my groceries this month.
oh
No.
no. Oh gosh. But I don't
I
know.
can't get that Snickers bar that I always wanted when I go to that place. Oh
I need more
God.
money. But just like, I don't know. I'd I'd just stay with the team, stay
Yeah.
loyal. Like, you look at the Bucks, which granted are not doing the best right now because we haven't had our entire roster for the Bucks yet this entire season.
Hmm.
Like, every single game, someone's been on the bench, someone's been out, and some bench guy has to go up. Like, this past game with the Celtics, we lost no T, but it's literally because we don't have Giannis. We don't have Middleton. We don't have Lopez. We're just out of players at this point. Like, everyone's getting sick and injured right now. It's just
Hey, you,
unfortunate.
row 7, seat 8, come on in.
Get out of here. We're really dumb players. Water boy, come on, get
Water
out
boy.
there.
Yeah, come.
Can you shoot? Okay, get out of here.
Coach, coach,
Hey,
you know the plays.
you should know he's the best. Start
Yeah.
shooting. But yeah, like you look at Giannis, who's stayed with the Bucks for how many years? It's like that's what I'd do. I'd just be loyal to one team, and you might not get like the most insane pay if you were like, let's say, to go to like the Lakers or something. But holy crap, does that really matter in life? Like, I'd rather just stay in like with the
I'd
Bucks,
rather, yeah.
have that fan loyalty, because that was insane when we won the
And then
championship,
just
and you have
crush.
everybody just chanting. Like, holy crap, I'd love to see that. And so imagine if you're the Packers, you're an Aaron Rodgers, and you're like, okay, I can
Aaron, listen up.
yeah. Hey, in the locker room, listen up. So you have Aaron Rodgers, and it's like, okay, I can be at Lambeau, win a Super Bowl, and hear all of
He's
these
like,
Packers
hey, they're
fans.
talking about me. They're talking about me.
And I can have all these Packer fans chanting and screaming that we just won a Super Bowl after how many years of loyalty, and go down in history as this like amazing Packer player. And we can, retire your number, and you'll be on the same league as like Brett Favre. Or I can go like Brett Favre, go to a team like, I don't know, the Vikings, and just be like, ah, yes, wow. Like, no one wants that. I wouldn't do that, man.
The last Packers Super Bowl win. Oh man, when was that? 2010. 11 years ago. Not anymore.
It's
2021.
this year, baby. But honestly, this is okay. Now, final hot take.
Oh yeah, final.
I would rather have the Bucks win another championship than the Packers win the Super Bowl. Just gonna say it. Hands up.
Yo,
I'll say
man.
it. If I have to sacrifice Packers winning Super Bowl this year, and everything goes wrong, Aaron Rodgers leaves, and we have to rebuild for another couple of years, I'd rather have that, and then Bucks win another ring. I want to see another ring on Giannis's fist.
I hate to tell you, but I'm judging you silently, and I'm pretty sure everybody listening is judging you.
Giannis
loudly.
2 rings, Brooke Lopez 2 rings, Chris Middleton 2 rings, Drew Holiday 2 rings, get Grayson Allen a ring. Oh my gosh, I'd love that. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't get a ring. What
No.
the hell?
Because I made this deal, I get ring.
That's so right. I'm so glad you get a ring too. Yeah, your pay cut as well.
Yep, I get paid.
Yeah.
Why do you think everybody's getting sick at the Packers?
Oh, dude.
Oh no.
No, man. Oh, yeah.
All right. I think that's about it for the podcast.
Do your thing.
We covered quite a bit of topics here, but
Yeah, pretty much.
thank you guys so much for watching the Catch a Glimpse podcast, episode 23. Make sure to go check out the prior podcasts if you have missed any of those. We're going to have some, special themed podcasts coming up, like Thanksgiving and December for Christmas. So make sure to stay tuned for those. Hopefully we'll have Frankie back in the near future. Otherwise, check out our link tree with all the links to our podcast, iTunes and Spotify, 7:30 a.m. on Sundays, and YouTube 4:30 p.m. on Sundays as well with those visuals. Our Wednesday 4:30 content, we upload videos on YouTube at weekly. Instagram and TikTok have some good announcements and good, quick, and easy content. So
For sure.
Make sure to go check those all out. Like, comment, and subscribe. Review on the platforms that you watch the podcast on. That really does help us. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll talk to you guys next week or next video. And goodbye.
Goodbye.